Hey, Tony here. Today I'm going to go over all of the titles that I watched during the month of June, so stick around. So today I'm going to take time to go over all of the titles that I watched during the month of June. I will be using my Letterboxd account. I do have it linked down below if you'd like to follow along with me. As I do rate and give a little mini review of the films that I watch each day. So I was able to watch at least one movie a day, and I was able to get out to the theater a lot. So I'm going to go in order of the day from the beginning to the end of the month. So first up, I watched Salt. This right here was a first time watch. I thought it was pretty interesting. It did have a lot of things going on in it to where it was hard to keep up with who was the good guys, who were the bad guys. So it was a little bit difficult to follow, but I thought it had some really good action scenes. I gave it 2.5 stars and a heart. Next up, I watched another first time watch, Children of Men. Really enjoyed this one. This right here is a dark and gloomy tale about I guess a post-apocalyptic type time where there hasn't been any children born, and just a really good performance, a really good story, and I gave this one 3 stars and a heart. Highly recommend you check it out. Next up, another first time watch, House of Wax. Really enjoyed this film. I thought it had a lot of good scenes. It took a while to get into, but I did think that it was done very well. I gave it 2.5 stars and a heart. Next up, another first time watch, Blazing Saddles. I did not care for this film whatsoever. I gave it 1 star and no, well actually I gave this one 1/2 star, no heart. I didn't like it. I didn't care for it at all. And the reason why I didn't is because it is kind of dated. I'm not a big Mel Brooks fan, and that kind of humor doesn't really do much for me, and so I just didn't care for it. Okay, next up, I watched the 4:30 movie. I really enjoyed this one. This is a coming-of-age movie with a lot of film references, and I just really enjoyed it. I gave it 2 stars and a heart. And I really thought the story was good. It does get a lower, 2 stars. So a lot of people want to know why I give things 2 stars and a heart. Usually people give things 2 stars that they don't care for. But with my logic, I give things, if I like it, it gets a heart. No matter what, if I like it, it gets a heart. The 2 stars are more, or at least the rating system is more of what I think about the performances, what I think about the camera work, what I think about the soundtrack. So different things play into that. But I did enjoy the film. I gave it 2 stars and a heart. Okay, next up I was able to get out to the theater. I did get to see Ballerina. I thought that it was very well done. I thought that they tied it in to the John Wick universe very well. Really enjoyed the story. I gave it 3 stars and a heart. And I'm very happy that they did this one, and I'm very happy that I was able to see it in the theater. So I do, if you haven't had a chance to see it yet, I would highly recommend that you check it out. I thought it was very well done. Okay, next up, I watched Rudderless. This right here is only on DVD, and this right here is a recommendation. I did watch it. I really enjoyed the story. I gave this one 3 stars and a heart. Great performances, and just the story overall. I think it really captured me as far as the mood that I was in, so I thought they did a really good job. Okay, next up, I watched The Devil's Candy. Here was another recommendation, and I gave this one, so The Devil's Candy I gave 2 stars and a heart. The heart because I really enjoyed the film. The 2 stars because it felt kind of low budget. It had some really good moments to it, and as far as it being kind of scary, It wasn't really scary, but it was. I thought that the graphics and the horror element of it was done very well. So happy to have that one in the collection. Next up, I watched Presents. This right here, I thought was going to be a lot better than what it was. After I purchased it, I started seeing people talk about how bad it was, and I cannot disagree any more than that. I gave it 1/2 star, no heart. It wasn't any good. A lot of people said that the last moments of the film made it good, but no, it didn't do anything for me. I didn't care for it at all. Okay, next up was another first time watch. I watched Starman. Really enjoyed this story. This is a John Carpenter film. Of course, I've heard about Starman for many, many years. Just never took the time to watch it. I gave it 3 stars and a heart. I really loved the story. I thought that the characters were very well played out. And 100% happy that I finally watched it. And I would recommend that you check it out. Okay, another one that was a first time watch is A Knight's Tale, starring Heath Ledger. Really enjoyed this one. So I gave this one 3 stars and a heart. I did love the story. I love how they kind of modernized it in a way with the soundtrack that they used, and just a really great tale. And so very happy that I was able to finally watch that. Okay, next up I watched How to Train Your Dragon, the animated film. I wanted to see this one again before I went to see the live action version. And of course, I love How to Train Your Dragon. It gets 3.5 stars and a heart because it's so good and it's one of the best animated films. And I'm very happy that I was able to go the next day to see How to Train Your Dragon, the live action version, because I think what they did with it was perfect. The way that they casted these characters was done to perfection. The story was great. They did have a few changes throughout the story that I thought was pretty good. I know someone, I saw some people review it saying that it was a shot-for-shot remake, but it was not. There were 2 different things that I saw in the live-action version that were different from the animated version, but I also gave it 3.5 stars and a heart. And if you're going to do a remake, this right here was the way to do it. So I really did enjoy it. Okay, next up I watched Judgment Night. It had been a long time since I'd seen this one, and I wanted to revisit it. And I still enjoy it. I gave it 3 stars and a heart. When I watched it this time around, it had been a long time since I'd seen it prior. I did notice some different things. I didn't remember the whole story. And so very happy that I was able to watch it again. Okay, the next 2 days I watched 2 films about Samson. So I watched this film the first day, and it was not so great. I gave this one 1 star, no heart. I really was hoping that this right here would be really good, but it wasn't, and it is a shame. I just didn't care for the acting. I didn't care for the story, the way that they told the story. So it was a miss. But I did watch the next day the original Samson and Delilah from Cecil B. DeMille, and it was epic. Like it's one of those epic films like you would see for like the 10 Commandments, and I gave it 3 stars and a heart. It just amazes me what all that they can accomplish back in 1949 when they made this film. And they told the story very well. I thought the acting was great. Okay, next up was another recommendation. That was for Fandango, starring Kevin Costner and Judd Nelson. I gave this one 2 stars and a heart. I thought it had a pretty good story, mostly toward the second half of the film. It was really hard for me to connect with the characters, but I'm still happy to have it in the collection. Okay, next up, I took time to watch Just Friends. It had been several years since I had seen this last, and I wanted to check out the special features. But this right here is just a really goofy movie. I gave it 2.5 stars and a heart. don't think I'm going to revisit it again anytime soon. Okay, next up I watched To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. This right here was a first time watch. Someone had recommended that I check this one out. I had it in the collection, so I finally watched it. I gave it 2.5 stars and a heart. I liked it overall. I thought it had a pretty good story. Next up, in the theater, I went and saw Dangerous Animals. I gave it 2.5 stars and a heart. Overall, I thought it was pretty good. I did like the story. I wish that there would have been more. Well, I don't want to say much about it because I don't want to spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it. But it is a shark movie and also a thriller type film kind of combined. But I thought the cast was pretty good. And I did enjoy the way that they did some of the scenes. I thought it was pretty, it got gory at times. Really, there were some certain parts of it that was really gory, and I really appreciated that. Okay, next up, I went to the theater and I saw 28 Years Later. I really enjoyed it. I think it was a really good theater experience. And I do enjoy the first two films. So I thought what they did with this one was pretty interesting up until the very last moment. And it really got confusing. I really didn't understand where they were going with it. I still gave it 3.5 stars. I still gave it 3 stars and a heart. But I'm going to have to check it out again before I go see the next film. Okay, I saw another film in the theater, which I really enjoyed. I did see Materialist. It is a romantic drama. And I thought that they did a really good job with it. I thought the cast was great. It kept me entertained and invested, and I gave it 3.5 stars and a heart. Highly recommend that you check it out if you've never seen it. Okay, next up I saw The Loved Ones. This right here is one that I watched on streaming. I do have the Blu-ray coming. It just hasn't arrived yet because it's only available overseas, so I'm still waiting for that to arrive. But I really enjoyed this film. The story was kind of goofy, but I did like the violence that was involved in the film. I did have to close my eyes or turn my head a few times because of how graphic it would get. But I gave it 2.5 stars and a heart. I really enjoyed it. Okay, next up I watched this documentary called 7852. All about the shower scene from Psycho. Really great documentary. I really enjoyed it. I'm very happy that I was able to add that one to the collection and for the recommendation that was given to me. I give this one 3 stars and a heart. If you do like Psycho, definitely check this documentary out. And so, of course, next I watched Psycho. One of my favorites. I gave this one, of course, 5 stars and a heart. I've seen this one many times and very happy to have watched the documentary prior to watching this film. Okay, next up, I watched a comedy back from my childhood from 1980, and it's called How to Beat the High Cost of Living. This one right here has a really good cast and a really good story. It is very cheesy, and you can tell that it's from the 70s, early 80s. I gave it 2 stars and a heart. But if you want to see something like that, I think it was very entertaining, and it brought back a lot of fond memories of watching that one on cable many times as a kid. And I do believe that it's available to stream on Amazon Prime if you want to check it out. But I did give it 2 stars and a heart. Okay, next up in the theater I saw The Life of Chuck. I gave it 2.5 stars and a heart. There were things about it that I really enjoyed, and then there were things about it I didn't care much for. I know a lot of people were raving about how good it was. I just didn't get into it. And like I said, I gave it 2.5 stars and a heart. It wasn't that great for me. I think it could have been a lot better. Okay, next up was probably one of my favorite theater experiences during the month of June, and that is when I saw F1 the movie. I thought F1 the movie was a great film. I think Brad Pitt did a great job with the story. The whole cast, just really loved it. And this one I gave 4 stars and a heart. And, you know, if you can see it in IMAX, definitely go check it out in the theater before it leaves. Okay, next up, after that, for the first time, I watched Ford v Ferrari. Love this film. I actually like this one better than F1, but just a little bit. So F1 got 4 stars and a heart. This one got 4.5 stars and a heart. Really great film. I really enjoyed this one, and I'm very happy that I finally watched it. If you've not seen it, definitely check it out. And then after that, I watched Rush. This right here was a second time watch based on a true story. Really enjoyed this one. I gave it 3 stars and a heart. This is another one that I would recommend that you check out. And then lastly for the month, I finished it up with another racing movie. I've seen this before. It's called Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise. This one was more of a drama. There were some really great racing scenes. But as far as the story goes, it was more a drama to me. And this one gets 3.5 stars and a heart. I think it's a great film and a great racing movie, but more of a drama. If you've never seen it, definitely check it out. So those are all of the films that I watched during the month of June. Please leave me a comment below. Let me know what you were able to watch, and also give me some recommendations of some titles that you would like me to watch during the month of July, because I really do enjoy reading your comments. But thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and we will see you next time.